least get started with our introductions. Welcome. We're very glad that you're here with us today. I'm Marcia Connett. I'm the Southeast Regional Consultant for Wisconsin Literacy. Also with us today are several of the other RLCs and RCCs. Anna, would you like to introduce yourself? Anna will be running the controls.
So you say that, and then I have to find the unmute button. No, that's fine. I'm Anna Beer. I'm the Northeast Regional Literacy Consultant.
Okay, and Beth, I know you're there if you want to unmute.
Hi, I'm Beth Gaitan. I'm the Southwest South Central Regional Literacy Consultant.
Okay, and Cassie, I think you're out there. And Beth is going to be doing our recap today. Cassie's going to be watching the chat box. Cassie, are you out there?
I don't think she has come back in yet.
Okay, well, she'll be watching our chat box. So our session today will feature Caitlin Lewis. Caitlin is at the International Learning Program in Milwaukee, and she's going to educate all of us on how to work videos and make Zoom work for us, and how to really bring our learning online. This was something that many of you asked for when she presented at our fall conference. And so this is a three-part series. Today's the first one, and we'll be talking about videos. Next week, next Thursday, we'll be talking about how to put quizzes and use some of the Google Docs online. And then our third one, 2 weeks from now, will be on all of the features of Zoom. And so if you have not signed up for either of those or both of those, you might want to do that now. You'll be getting the links again in the update from today, but definitely sign up. This has been a very popular one. As you came on, you were muted, and you will remain muted. There may be a couple of times in the program that Caitlin may want input from those of us who are listening, and then if she asks a question and you want to answer it, you can raise your hand and Anna will unmute you. But in the meantime, if you want to type in the chat box, and the chat box is in many cases down at the bottom of your screen, might be on the side, and it says chat, and there'll be a box where you can just put your cursor and start typing your question. And then if there's an appropriate time to answer it right on the spot, Caitlin can do that. If not, we'll answer it at some point in the program. So make good use of that chat box, if you will. You will be getting an evaluation at the end of the program today, and we'd love to have your input if you would be kind enough to fill that out. It'll take you about a minute and a half, maybe not even that long. So, but please help us out by completing the evaluation. And without further ado, I would love to introduce Caitlin Lewis. Caitlin, it's all yours.
Great, thank you so much, Marcia. Let me just share my screen with you. Okay. Oops. Well, I want to say a big thank you to Wisconsin Literacy for having me today. I'm really excited about this presentation, and good morning to everyone who is joining us for this. And thank you for joining us. I know being a teacher in the midst of a global pandemic has added even more complexity to our already demanding jobs. So the fact that you took time out of your busy schedules to be here with us really means a lot to me as a presenter, and I appreciate your participation. As Marcia said, the idea for this workshop, how'd they do that, creating videos, came from when I spoke at the Wisconsin Literacy Fall Conference. After our presentation, I was going through a debrief and we were talking about what would we do differently next time. And one of the things that I had said was I had wished to be able to show people how to do what I'm doing instead of just telling them. as the old saying goes, show, don't tell. So I'm really excited to be here and actually show everyone how to take your PowerPoints and create them into narrated YouTube videos. And I just learned a few new tricks this weekend too that I'm excited to share. So again, my name is Caitlin Lewis, and I am a citizenship instructor here at International Learning Program, and that's part of the nonprofit Neighborhood House of Milwaukee here in Milwaukee. Oh, and let me see. I'm going to take a copy of these slides. I've created them on Google Slides, and I will be putting them into the chat box. Q&A. Let's see if I can find it. If I can't find the chat box now, I know Beth, I will be sending these slides to Beth so that she will be able to send these to everyone as well. So with this link that I just put in the chat box, when you will want to copy and paste it onto a separate document. So when you're copying it, you're going to, if you're on a PC, you will left click and hold and highlight the text. And you can right click, copy, and then open up. A lot of times if I'm in a webinar and I want to save a resource, I'll just open up blank Microsoft Word. You could also just put it into a blank email and save it there. And then that way, afterwards, when you click on this link, it will open up the Google Slides, and they are in view only mode. So you won't be able to edit them, but you'll be able to go back and see all of the instructions that I've provided in the slides. There are a lot of slides today, but that's because I screenshotted every step I took a screenshot of every step and went one by one, so you can kind of walk through the process with me to see how do you take a PowerPoint and then create it into a video.
And Caitlin, just a note that I just copied the link and I'm putting it in the email that I'll send out to folks. So nobody needs to worry about writing it down or anything. It'll be in the follow-up email.
Great. Okay, now let me go back to my presentation. Okay. And this video or this webinar will also be recorded. So I know sometimes I like to look at the instructions, maybe not go back and watch the whole video, but if you get a little confused, there will be a video recording as well for today. So a background on our center, the International Learning Program. We are located at 25th and Wisconsin. So we're a little bit west of the Marquette campus. If you know where that is in Milwaukee. We offer free English and citizenship classes to refugees and asylum seekers who are living here. Currently, most of our students are from the country of Myanmar, which is also formerly known as Burma. And we are a DOJ, a Department of Justice accredited site, which means we can actually complete our students' citizenship applications for them. So as a citizenship instructor here at ILP, I actually work with some of our lower level English learners. So they're about a level 1 or level 2 on the NRS scale, which typically when you're at those beginning stages of learning a new language, you wouldn't have to be learning the complex information that is needed for your citizenship interview. So it's always amazes me with our students how quickly, or also just how they're able to learn this complex information they need to know for their citizenship interviews. So I always stress in class that our citizenship class, which is once a week for 2 hours, is just not enough for our students to be able to learn all the material they need to know for the citizenship interview. So I inform them that it's good for them to be studying on their own outside of class. And when we talk about this, I ask them, how do you like to study at home? And my students have always said to me that they love YouTube as a way to study. Most of them have smartphones and YouTube is very accessible for them. And it's easy for them to just, if they're at work, they can pop on a video, put their earbuds in and listen to it I also teach an elder citizenship class for refugees and asylum seekers who are 60 years and older. And one of my elders, his daughter actually told me he loves to listen to YouTube every night. He puts on the 100 questions and just sits there and practices and keeps learning all the questions on his own. So even before COVID, I had this dream of creating YouTube videos for my students because it was one of their favorite ways to study. But with all the changes in immigration, creating a YouTube channel for my students kind of always took the back burner until COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, it became one of the most important things to do as an educator to create a virtual learning toolkit that would be effective and impactful for your students. So as Marcia was saying in the beginning, in 2 weeks, I'll be going over Zoom classrooms and how we went about transitioning our lower level ESL learners, our ELL learners, onto Zoom. And next week, I'll actually be talking about our digital literacy website and the Google applications within Google Suite that we use for that digital literacy website. And most of those Google Sites, which is actually the forum we use for our website, Google Forms, which we can turn into quizzes. We'll also be looking at Google Slides. Most of my presentations I make on Google Slides and then download them as a PowerPoint. I love using Google because it saves automatically. Actually, yesterday while I was finalizing these slides for the presentation today, my computer crashed. And luckily I did not lose any information because it was all saved on Google. So that even though that crash happened, I jumped on another computer, and I was able to keep working on my slides while my computer figured itself out. And within this digital literacy website, where the idea for the YouTube videos came from, besides my students saying they like to use them, was I wanted to create some asynchronous listening and speaking activities. With a website, it's easy to make reading and writing activities, but I wanted to actually have my students listening to English as well and listening to the material. So that is where the idea came from. And I'll show you a short clip from one of my newest videos. This one I just created earlier. Okay. Oops. Let me try something else. Oh, here it comes.
Good morning. Today we will be practicing some yes or no vocabulary words.
So I want to show you this short clip of what it actually looks like, the finished product. So when you can see, one of the things I just learned recently was how to include the live video in the bottom of the PowerPoint while I'm recording, so students can see my total physical response, my TPR. They can also watch my mouth moving to see how I pronounce the words that I'm saying. And I like to use this pen feature to underline the words that I'm reading and that I'm saying, so they can see the word and hear it and know, okay, that is the sound that I'm hearing is connected to that word. And we'll get into that all later. I just wanted to show you what the final video looks like when you're finished. Okay, and so now I've actually have a question.
Excuse me, Caitlin.
Yes.
It looks like they said they can't see your video.
Oh, okay. Let me try one more time. Whoops. Okay, let's see.
Good morning. Today,
Are you able to see it now?
I can
Looks
hear it, but I can't see it.
Yeah, all we're seeing is yes, no vocabulary words.
Oh,
of
good.
it.
Okay, that is the video itself.
Okay, there's no action on this particular. Okay,
Correct. It's just down in the right-hand corner. You can see a little live video. I'll make it a full screen so it's easier to see. So in the bottom right-hand corner is where you'll actually see the live video of me. But you'll just be basically seeing the yes or no vocabulary words.
okay.
We'll be practicing some yes or no vocabulary words. We will be practicing.
Move it ahead.
Illegal is the same as crime. You could say break the law.
So that's what it looks like when you have the narrations alongside your PowerPoint. You see that PowerPoint screen, and then the students can listen, and it will all move together. They don't need to be clicking anything while they're watching the video. Good. And this is part of the reason why I like to use PowerPoint. I found when I tried to record my slides on Google Slides, I had to have an audio recording and the words separately. So then it was extra clicks for the students to be able to get the audio to play with the words. So I wanted that simultaneous, they could hear me speaking while they were looking at the text, and that they didn't have to have any extra clicks. As some of our students, they are still learning some digital literacy skills, so I try and keep everything as simple as possible for them. Okay, and then here I've got some questions for the attendees. I want to know if anyone is not familiar with Microsoft PowerPoint. PowerPoint is my preferred method, as I was just saying, for recording these videos. I do have a few slides to talk about some PowerPoint basics. So if you'd like for me to go over some PowerPoint basic information, please type it in the chat box and we'll take a look at that. If everyone feels good to go about Microsoft PowerPoint, then I'll jump into how to fine tune our PowerPoints into creating a narrated video.
One response said, I feel good about PowerPoint.
Good. Okay. Well, these, no need to review. Oh, and I see another one too saying no need to review. Great. Well, these slides about PowerPoint basics will be in the Google Slides. So if you want to later on go back and look at some PowerPoint basics, feel free to do that. But it looks like everyone is ready to roll. So let me click through these. All right, so when I'm finished creating a PowerPoint, I start with adding animations onto my text. So I'm gonna actually jump over to PowerPoint. So hopefully everyone can see this new presentation. The video screen and not the. Oh, you can still see the video screen? Okay, share screen. Okay, and now, so this was the same screen as YouTube, but it's within PowerPoint. Q&A. Okay, great. Everyone can see the PowerPoint now, it looks like. So when I'm creating these PowerPoints, after I finish, I like to add some animations onto my text, which means, as you saw from a short clip, I'll read a question, I'll pause, I give the students some time to answer. I want these YouTube videos to be interactive for them. So while they're listening to me read the question, I pause, and they're supposed to then say an answer out loud so they can practice saying the answer. Now, sometimes they may forget an answer, maybe their pronunciation while they're practicing at home needs a little bit of work. So after I read the question and I pause for their answer, then I actually put the answer on the screen so they can check to see if they're correct, and we go over the pronunciation of the answer where I'll pronounce it and they can listen to it and then practice it again. So when I do that, so on like this slide number 2 that says crime, what is a crime? I like the question to come up first, and to have this other text come up secondary, I highlight it, which to highlight it, on a PC, it's a left click. On a Mac, it's just a single click. So I go to the end of the text, I click, and I hold, and then I highlight all of the text. And I'll actually then, on our menu up here within PowerPoint, you can see at the top, where's my annotate button? There's a section called animations. Animations is where you will find how to get this text to come up secondary. So I'll click animations, and then with the text highlighted, I click appear. And you'll know that it works because you'll see this little 1 pop up. And you'll want that 1 though to be by the text itself. There. So if you're not sure if it works, you can double click the 1. It should open up your animations and add it, and you can add your animations. If you want to use a different type of appearance, I just typically use appear to just have it pop up. There are other styles you can use as well, such as fade, fly in, float in. So there are different, if you want to play with how it shows up to the students, feel free. I just like to keep it simple and use appear. And then you'll also know that it worked because on your slides, you will see these little stars right here on the side. So when you see these stars, then you know that you have an animation with your text on all of your slides. So once you finish fine-tuning those animations with your text, if you want to add those, then you're ready to record. So again, animations, highlight the text, appear. And then you'll see that 1 right by the text. Now when you want to start recording, you'll find these options under slideshow within your PowerPoint. So you'll go to slideshow on the top menu, and you'll see there's an option called record slideshow. And on PowerPoint, whenever you see small arrows next to a category, such as this small arrow right here on record slideshow, if you press it, that means you'll get a drop down menu. So when you click record slideshow, if you just click right on record, then show by a drunk person. Oh, no, the animation was for the text. The drunk person on the table was to go with the term habitual drunkard. I leave the picture up while we're practicing the questions. But so you click this and you'll get 2 options that say either record from beginning or record from current slide. When I'm starting a recording, I just start from the beginning. We'll talk about when you might use the record from current slide later on in the presentation. So then when you hit record, you'll get a screen that looks like this. Now I do want to give a disclaimer that if you're using a basic version of PowerPoint, For instance, my husband, he bought the student version, which Microsoft offers at a cheaper price than their Microsoft Office, but you can still create these narrated videos with the basic version. Just the only feature you lose is the video down in the corner. I can't figure out how to get that video to work in a basic presentation. When I started using Microsoft Office 365, which I just started recently, that's when I started getting the little video down in the corner where students could actually see my little talking head while they're watching the video. And it doesn't really take up much of the space, but they do then actually get to see your face, see your mouth move, and see your total physical response while you are presenting. So then, after you hit record, down in the bottom by your talking head, you'll have a microphone and a camera. If you do not want your talking head down in the corner, you can click the camera and the talking head will disappear, and it will only be that PowerPoint slide. So you will no longer have that talking head down in the corner, and then you'll just see the PowerPoint slide. Also, if you click on the microphone, that turns off the audio and also automatically turns off that talking head in the corner. But if you turn off the audio, then the audio won't record while you're doing the narrations. Oh, that's a good question, Sally. Can I drag the video to another corner? I'm not sure, but at the end of these next few slides, I'm actually going to open up the PowerPoint again, so we'll try it together. As I said, it is a learning curve. The first time I created one of these videos, I actually spent almost 3/4 of my workday figuring out how to do it. I had been working with a teacher and she had given me some instructions, and I just played with what she had said and fine-tuned those instructions. So I am hoping that the instructions I give you today will help to save you time when you're creating your first video. But that very first one does take extra time to get used to all the different controls that you need to use when you're doing these creations, when you're creating these videos. Okay. And then for some reason, if when you press record from current slide, if you don't see your talking head, or if you try recording and you don't hear audio, settings up in the corner is where you can actually go, click on settings and see your what microphone is connected and what camera is connected. So if you want to use an external camera, if you get a little camera outside your computer, or if you want to use an external microphone, if you've got a headset that you like a good microphone on it and you don't want to use your laptop microphone, these settings up in the corner is where you would change which camera and which video which microphone the laptop is pulling from on PowerPoint. And then down here in the left-hand corner, we have a pen. And so this pen feature is similar to the pen feature I'm using right now in Zoom. What you see me drawing with right now is actually a Zoom feature. We'll go over that, how to use these drawing tools in Zoom in 2 weeks. But this pen down here in the left-hand corner does the exact same thing. If you click on the pen, you can then underline the words while you are speaking. You do not have to have the pen if you don't want to use it. That's up to you. Also, if you are on a Mac, it is Command P if you want to use a pen, Command P. Then next to the pen, you have a highlighter. This highlights the text on the slide. So this we see myself drawing. I don't really use the highlighter too much, but if you would prefer to highlight a word instead of underlining it, that's also an option as well. And then the final one down here in the left-hand corner is an eraser. So if while you're underlining a word, let's say I accidentally, whoops, draw through a word and kind of make it hard to read, you can click on that eraser and then erase the drawing you would like. So like that. So then when you are ready, so at this point, you're just setting up the controls of what you want and how you want the screen to look like when you start recording. I typically click the pen before I start recording, just so I'm ready to go once I hit record. So when you hit record, this is what the screen will look like. You'll then see a pause, a stop, and a replay up in the left-hand corner. So while you're recording, you can actually pause yourself, you can stop the video, or if you want to replay and see what it sounds like, you can do that as well. And then down here in the left-hand corner, it will tell you how long your video is. And the one on the left is how long the recording on that current slide is. And this number on the right is how long the video itself is. So now that we did that, I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm actually going to pull up PowerPoint so you can see what it will look like when you are recording. So if you have any questions, now would be a good time to either raise your hand or type them into the chat box, and we can look at the record screen together. I'm going to go to this very first one. So this would be my PowerPoint that I was creating for my students. Then now I go to slideshow and record slideshow. If you click on this small arrow pointing down, that's where you can see record from current slide or record from beginning. I'm just going to record from beginning. And this is, okay. So I'm not sure if it will let me use my camera right now on PowerPoint because the camera is being used on Zoom, but I'm going to clear my recordings from that slide. So also up here on the very top, you can see this clear button with a big X. This is where, let's say you do a recording, you're not happy with it, you want to try again, you'd click clear, and you can clear recordings on the current slide or clear the recordings on all of the slides. And so try and be careful if you just want, the recordings are to one certain slide. So if you only want that slide to clear the recording, if you click the other one, clear recordings on all slides, you will lose all of your recordings. The nice thing about PowerPoint is that a recording is matched to one slide. So if you make a mistake on one slide, it won't impact the rest of your slides. So I'm going to clear my recordings on my current slide. Like I said, unfortunately right now I cannot turn on the camera. Or let's see, nope, yeah, Microsoft's not letting me turn on my camera, so I can't see if I can move that talking head. I think you should be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. We can also look at that maybe next week at the start of next week if I find out the answer to that question. Okay, I see I've got a chat in the chat box. Let's see if I can see that. Beth, can you let me know what the question was from the chat box?
Yes, it says, oh, so we can't, yes. So Caitlin, we can see, right now we can't see where you clicked the button to clear. So
okay.
it's not showing, I think we're seeing presentation mode maybe. So
Okay,
where, for record and clear, was that all in the top left?
yeah, let me get my Zoom tools out. Can you see this now?
We can just see like a red circle, but we can't see anything.
Okay, so this is where I'm circling up here. It's going to be up in the right hand. I'll put my presentation back on at the end of this, and I can, I've got a screenshot in my
Sure. Okay.
Google Slides, and we can look at that. But so it's going to be up here in the right hand corner. So this is what it looks like, or that's where that placement is. Let me
Perfect,
actually,
thank you.
then can't see that. Let me go back to my slides.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for that feedback. It's what I'm seeing and how it's presenting on Zoom. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
And so, oh, so we see the clear is in the top right hand. And then where did you push record? Was that the top left hand?
Yes, so let me, I've got to move this. So that record, it's in the top left hand.
Oh, okay.
So this is
Perfect.
what I was able to see in the PowerPoint, but unfortunately does not show through on Zoom, is this record button. So when you're on your original PowerPoints, we'll go back a step. After you hit, there we go. Okay. So when you go to record, you'll start under, again, slideshow, and then record slideshow. And so after you hit this record slideshow, this is the screen that will pop up. And so up in this left-hand corner is where your record, stop, and replay. Which record, when you click record to start recording your video and your narrations, record will change to pause. And right here, up in the right-hand corner next to settings is where the clear button is. And that's where, when you click clear, if you see this little drop down, two different menus will show up, or two different options. One will say clear recordings from current slide, and then the other one below it will say clear recordings from all slides. So be very careful that if you only want to clear a recording from one slide, if you hit that all slide button, you will lose all of your recordings. But if you just, and maybe you do want to do the whole thing again, and that's when you would use the all slides. Otherwise, you're going to want to just always make sure you're hitting the current slide button. And so clear, and this little arrow up here is what you would click to get that drop down to clear out your recording. And that's if you've already recorded something, you want to clear it and start again. That's how when you would use that. And then it's all your controls, your pen, your eraser, your highlighter is all down here in the left-hand corner. Okay. So then, yeah, here you'll hit record, and that's when you can start speaking. Microsoft PowerPoint will actually give you a little countdown of 3, 2, 1 after you hit record. So you want to make sure you leave a short pause before you start speaking, because otherwise those words, if you start too quickly, those words will get cut off while the recording is starting. So you want to make sure, just give it a short pause and then begin speaking. Same whenever you're moving from a slide to the next slide, you'll want to pause. So you're recording, all of the words that you're saying gets picked up on the recording. It does have a slight delay. It's very, very minuscule, but you want to make sure you're kind of pausing in between any sort of transition from slide to slide. And then So after you hit record, up here in the left-hand corner, it will change to pause, stop, and replay. And if you have your talking head video going down here in the right-hand corner, you'll know it's recording because you'll see a little red dot that shows you that you are currently recording. Besides just seeing the pause, you'll also see a red dot down here in the corner, and that's how you know you are currently recording. If you're using the basic version of Microsoft PowerPoint, they do not give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. It just starts. And sometimes when it just starts, it starts recording even before you hit record. So instead of seeing record and pressing record, you'll actually have to hit stop and start again. But typically, if you're using Microsoft Office 365, this is what your screen's going to look like, both on a Mac and a PC. This process is pretty much the same for Mac and PC users until the very end, and I'll go over that at the end when it looks different, what it would look like for PC and what it will look like for a Mac. So some best practices for while you are recording the video. I highly recommend doing a short test recording with audio and video first, because there's just been some times where my microphone's acting funky and I'll dive right into creating a narration and I'll finish and then I'll want to review it and I'll listen to it to see what it sounds like, and there will be no audio, and it's always such a sinking feeling when you're like, I just spent 20 minutes recording all this audio and it wasn't even working. I used to help out as the IT liaison for a personal finance office. I would be the person working with the IT department when we had IT problems. And it's amazing how one of the most common fixes for stuff is just restart your computer. So if you do a short test record and your audio is not working, then if you can't get your microphone to connect, I just suggest restarting your computer and trying again. If that doesn't do it, there may be a larger issue with your microphone you might need to go seek help for. But sometimes, I don't know why, my microphone just, when I go to PowerPoint, start recording, it doesn't connect right. I try and connect my microphone. It says it's connected. It just won't pick up the audio, and I just restart the computer and boom, the microphone works again. So it is good to just give a little, when you press record, I'll go back. So when you press record, sometimes I'll just do a little short like, hello, 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 and then I'll press stop. Then I'll press stop, and then I'll press replay to make sure that my audio is recording properly.
Caitlin, there is one question. It says, we're collecting tutor and student video stories. Do you suggest any particular device or tool for recording these? Cell phone camera, PowerPoint, and where do you suggest storing these short videos?
Oh, okay. So it depends on what you're looking for when you're creating these tutor and student videos. If you just are going to record someone talking and you're not looking to have an actual slides like how you see now with my PowerPoint and text, if you just simply want a video recording of someone talking, I would suggest using an iPhone or a video camera on your cell phone. They're really high tech these days and you can get really nice resolution from a video camera. If you're looking more with these PowerPoint videos, I'm thinking of these more for the teachers that want the information from class up on the screen while they read it to their students, so it's a listening experience. Or the third option too is something I've started doing is recording my Zoom classes, and we'll look at that at the end of this presentation today. We're kind of running short on time, so I'll touch on that at the very end. And I see I got another question. My favorite places to get the graphics for my PowerPoint slides and videos, just Google Images. This is also part of why I use Google Slides to create my PowerPoints, because you can do a Google image search while you're creating your PowerPoint. So I just used Google. I don't use any paid product to get my graphics. Okay. Also, when you're doing your PowerPoint, yes?
So sorry, I might have missed that. So are you using PowerPoint? You're using Google PowerPoint, Google Slides, or are you using like a PowerPoint in your desktop?
So when I'm recording the video, I'm using PowerPoint in my desktop.
Okay, okay.
I create the slides on Google Slides, and I'll show that next week how I actually create the slide, or how you can use Google Slides to download it as a PowerPoint. But when I am recording the video, I use PowerPoint.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You can also, for best practices for recording, you can connect an external mouse. For instance, if you can see my video in the corner of Zoom, I've got my mouse here. Sometimes when I'm recording, if I'm using my laptop mouse, I do this on a laptop, when I'm clicking to use the pen feature while I'm recording, whoops, you can actually hear it in the video. You can hear click, 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 because the mouse pad on your laptop is very close to the microphone. So I like to connect an external mouse to use while I'm creating my PowerPoint videos. Same with if you have an external microphone. I don't have an external microphone. I just use the microphone within my laptop to get the sound quality, but you can use an external microphone as well if you'd like to capture that, have a little bit more crispness to the sound. And the very last best practice would be keep your videos short. YouTube, when I upload my PowerPoint videos onto YouTube, my analytics show me through YouTube what the average duration is for people who are watching my videos. And I keep my videos around 6 to 7 minutes, and the average watch time is about 4 minutes. So people are, watching your videos, and sometimes I think the longer they are, the less you'll get somebody watching the whole video. So I try and keep them short, and then I kind of put them together as a playlist. Okay, so then after you finish, you can review your work. So when you exit out of that recording screen, up in the upper right-hand corner of that recording screen, let me go back to show you this. So we can't see it on this, but up here, you'll have a little X and a square to make it smaller. You'll click the X in the upper right-hand corner when you want to exit. When you're done, you press stop, you click on the X, and you'll go back to the original PowerPoint screen. So then you'll go back to PowerPoint, and you'll be out of record mode. Then under this slideshow menu, you'll see there's play from beginning. When you press that, it will actually play back your PowerPoint for you with the audio and video narrations. And you can listen to it and see, okay, does this sound like what I wanted it to sound like? And then that's where you can kind of see if maybe you made a mistake and you want to go back and fix a slide. You can hear that while you're listening to your presentation. And yes, Victoria, you can have this in a step-by-step cheat sheet. I've created a Google Slides link to this presentation where you can actually see each of these slides one by one and follow the instructions along as well. And Beth said she'll be sending them out in an email, in the wrap-up email after this presentation is done.
Yeah, and I've also been taking notes and have a little bit of a instruction. I've been taking notes on instructions, though your Google Slides will probably be more helpful because they have the screenshots.
Okay, so if you're reviewing your work, again, if you make a mistake, audio and video recordings are connected to a slide. So you would click on the slide that you would want to change, let's say number 5. habitual drunkard, I want to change that. Then I would click on that slide, go to my record slideshow, and record from current slide. So that's when you can use the record from current slide and pick that one slide to do the recording again. You'll need to clear out your recordings in that upper right-hand corner where it says clear. You can clear out your recordings from that slide and then record again. Oh yeah, so slideshow, record from current slide, record slideshow. You'll use that little arrow right here. Let me highlight it. They're very small. They're small and hard to see. But if you click that small down pointing arrow that looks like that, then you'll get this drop down menu where you can see record from current slide, record from beginning. And then this will pop up again. The slide you want to record from, you'll hit clear. You can press this little down arrow again and it'll say clear current slide recordings. You'll click the first one and then you'd press record to start recording. And then when you're done recording, you'll press stop. And then again, when you're done with the record screen, there's a little X up in the right-hand corner above settings, and that's what you'll press to go back to the PowerPoint screen and get yourself out of the recording mode. So when you're completely finished and your presentation, you're happy with your narrations, your video, then this is where you actually export your PowerPoint presentation to a video. The reason why I'm using the word export is because you do not save it. I know typically you use save or save as, but when you're creating a video, we are not saving it. We are actually exporting it. So first we're going to look at exporting a video to how it looks like on a PC, because this is where it differs between PC and Mac. So on a PC, next to home up here in the left-hand corner, you'll see file. And you'll click file. And when that pops up, you'll get this file screen. And on the very left of the screen is where you have your home, open, new, save, save as, print. And at the bottom, that's where you'll see export. So export is what you will want to hit. Do not hit save. You cannot save it as a video. You have to export it as a video. And then under export, the very first one that will show up is create PDF, but we're not trying to create a PDF, so you'll go to create a video. You click that, and then after you click create a video, this screen will show. And the very first one right here is where you choose your file size. I typically choose a smaller file size. If you choose a larger file size, it takes a long time to export it. And then a lot of times that file size will be too large for YouTube to upload it. So I choose either medium or small. I find medium and small. The video recording I showed you before on my YouTube was actually the small size. It wasn't even the medium. Both of those will keep your video recording small enough that you'll be able to upload them to YouTube. If it's too high of a quality, YouTube will say the file size is too large. So it says medium file size. I just leave it saying use recording timings and narrations, although it's going to use the one that you put in there when you created your narrations. And then you'll hit create video right here. So that will be the last one. After you choose your file size, you'll hit create video. And then after you hit create video, this is where you pick on your computer what you would like the name, the file name to be, where would you like to save it, and then you'll want to make sure that it right here where it says save as type, it says MPEG 4 video. That's the type of file you want to save your video, or I should say export your video as. You'll want to export your video as MPEG-4 video. And then you'll hit save. And then it'll be saved on your computer. And actually, after you export it and save it as an MPEG-4 video, you can then go into where you saved it on your computer and play it back like a video, and it'll actually be saved as a video. Okay, and then so now we're going to switch over to what this looks like for our Mac users. So on a Mac, the main difference is the file button is in a different place. It's not to the left of home. On Macs, these file buttons are up on top, kind of on your desktop, so it's outside of PowerPoint. You'll find file. You'll still want to be in PowerPoint, but sometimes you got to move your PowerPoint screen down so you can see the top of what looks like your desktop. And then that's where file will be. And under file, again, you'll go to export just like you would in a PC. You are not saving it, we are exporting it. And then when you hit export, then it'll say export as, and this is where you'll type in the name you want. You can see where, this is a drop-down screen, and you can choose where on your computer you want to save the video file. And then again, file format is a drop-down menu, and you'll go to MP4. So that's that same MPEG-4 video. I was confused the first time I did it because MOV to me seemed like that would be the movie option, but that option did not work when I tried to upload an MOV file to YouTube. It has to be an MP4. Okay. And then again, you want it to be a low quality. So internet quality is the one. I find that one works the best for YouTube. The very first time I did it the highest quality, and YouTube would not accept my file. So I had to go back, re-record everything, export it as an MP4, and then YouTube would accept the internet quality. They have a lower quality than internet quality, but I find internet quality works just fine for what I'm trying to do. And then it'll automatically check this use recorded timing and narrations. So that should be checked, and then you'll hit export down here in the right-hand corner. You can see that, export. And then I know it's 11:30 now, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Maybe we can do another one later on talking about how to upload these videos to YouTube, unless if you want to give me a few extra minutes to just talk about how to upload these onto YouTube, I could do that as well. What do you think, Anna?
Sure. If you don't mind staying on, those who are able to stay along can, and then it will be on the recording. So
Okay.
Sure, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. So after you save it to your computer, then this is where you can actually upload it onto YouTube. So you'd go to your YouTube page, which first you would, oh, thank you, Julia. First, you would want to create a YouTube account if you don't have one. I created one through my work account. I like to sort of keep my work and my personal accounts separate. I find it a little bit cleaner that way. So I used my work email to create a YouTube account, and then you create a password, and then you can start uploading once you have an account. So once you have an account, you'll go to your homepage, your YouTube homepage, and on your YouTube homepage, there's this tiny little, I wish they made it easier to see, but it's kind of tough to see. There's this tiny little old school video camera, well, I guess it's not that old school, but the video camera recording function. And that's where you'll click that video, that means create. And under create, you'll see a drop down option, either upload video or go live. So you'll want to upload a video. Go live is more for if you're trying to do a live video like Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives, if you just want to start recording. But if you already have a video, you would hit Go Live. And then YouTube will ask you what file do you want to select. When you press select file, then you'll get the screen showing you all where your different files are, and you'll go to where the video is saved and click on it. Then after you click on the video you want to upload, you'll get this screen where you can, it will automatically fill in the name of the video. What I like to save it on my own computer. I change the name a little bit to make it very unique to that specific video. When I started my YouTube channel, I would just call them yes, no, vocabulary word video. But then after I created a few different ones, I forgot which words I'd already created a video for, and I'd forget which video had which words. So I like to make a title that's easy for me to remember and also very clear for those people on YouTube who are searching for your videos. And I found random people living in the United States who are also going for citizenship really like my videos. So sometimes you might want to create a name that's popular for people searching for the information you're looking for if you'd like to make it accessible to other people besides your students. And then here's where you can type a short description. And also on this page, you can find it other places, but you'll see a video link. On YouTube, each video has a specific link. So that link is what you're going to want to share with students so they can go and directly click on that video and see it. And then you'll hit next. And it will ask you about visibility afterwards when you save your video. There's 3 options. There's private, which means no one can see it except for you. There's unlisted, which means this is if you, let's say you wanted to record a video with a student, but you didn't have permission from that student to share that video with other people or just post it to YouTube. You could list it as unlisted. Somebody goes to your YouTube site, they cannot see the video. The only way they can see that video is if you send this video link to them directly. That's the only way for someone to be able to see that, is if they have that video link. So it will not be shown to the public. So if you're concerned about privacy issues and you want to maybe share your video just with students, but you don't want to share it to the general public, you can list it as unlisted and then just send that video link directly to your students and no one will be able to see it. If you want your content to be fully public, you'd click public and then everybody can see it. It will be on your YouTube page. YouTube does a thing where, you know, if you're watching a YouTube video at the end, it will show you like 8 different videos, like watch this one next, watch this one next, where it'll show up on random searches. That's where actually a lot of people who view my videos actually come to my channel, is through those suggested videos. That's how they find my page, aside from my students who are coming to page. And then you'll hit,
oh, sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry. What's the difference between private and unlisted? What did you say?
So private is only you can watch your video. It's only you, unless I think within private, you can maybe add a specific email address saying like, okay, this YouTube account can watch it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And unlisted, it's somebody doesn't need a YouTube account to watch the video. They just need the video link. So that's what would be different. So especially if you're working with people who don't have email accounts or YouTube accounts, that's where unlisted, it's still private, but they don't need a YouTube account to watch it. They just need that URL, that link right there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for the clarification question. And then you're finished. And you will be, and the video will upload to YouTube. Sometimes it takes, while you're going through those steps, it may take a few extra minutes to upload to YouTube itself, but then it will let you know once it is done and people can start watching and enjoying your video. And next week, I'll show you how you can actually take that video link and put it directly on your digital literacy website. So now again, if there's anyone who has any remaining questions, I've got some time to stay on and answer some questions. I know before there was a question about other types of videos for recording for YouTube for tutors and students. And I like to record my Zoom classrooms on my YouTube page. I also have actually I do short Zoom recordings and then upload those onto YouTube. So students who missed class that day or students who want to rewatch class, maybe they kind of forgot what you talked about or they're struggling with it and want to watch it again, I'll put Zoom class recordings, and that I just use on my laptop. I've got ideas to expand my YouTube page and actually do recordings where it's like me and a student sitting down and you can watch us do a practice interview or, you know, watch a tutoring session if you want to record that. That I would just recommend recording that off your cell phone. You'll get the best quality. Okay.
Cassie, is there anything in the chat box that we may have missed?
Oh, I see one from Sally.
Go ahead.
Start to finish making slides to final upload. How long did it take you the first time to get through this? It took me a while. I'm not gonna lie. It took me definitely a few hours to do this. I didn't have as clear direction, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't know how to save the videos, how to export them. So I'm hoping these directions will help save you some time, but I would definitely anticipate leave yourself a chunk of time, maybe an hour or two the first time you try and make it. The shorter your PowerPoint, the quicker it will be. If you have a very long PowerPoint you want to record and create a big long video, the longer it will take. But yeah, it will definitely take, I would guesstimate, a few hours, maybe the first time you try it. But now when I'm doing this, because I'm comfortable, I know where all the settings are, I know what I'm doing, it takes me maybe less than a half hour to create. Well, I take the PowerPoint I create from class, so I use maybe like 20 minutes to create my PowerPoint, 20, 30 minutes, and then after class, I use maybe 15, 20 minutes to actually turn that into a video. But that's why I kind of wanted these presentations to be done. I wanted to do this workshop series in December. I know breaks are coming up for a lot of teachers, so if you want to try doing this over your break, getting familiar with it, playing with the controls, I was hoping that this would be a helpful time for you to learn how to do this when you are starting that journey of the learning curve.
Wonderful. Well, Caitlin, this has been absolutely amazing. I thought I knew my way through some of this, and I really learned a ton. And I think having this PowerPoint as well as the recording of this will help us if we need to go back for reinforcement on anything. So thank you ever so much.
We actually have another question.
Oh,
and I think it's a really nice one, is how do you get students on board? How did you show them and encourage them to use the videos?
I did it through a few different ways. One of them being is I also have a teacher Facebook page. So again, I created a whole new Facebook account from my work email that I call Caitlin Citizenship. And I've got a lot of my students added me there. And so the first time I created a video, I posted it on the Facebook for students. And I also sent it as a text message, that video link on YouTube. I just copy and pasted that video link and I texted it to them. So then when we would have our Zoom class, most of the students figured out how to open that YouTube link directly from their, from that text message or from Facebook or from a Facebook message. But then in class, I actually had my phone next to my laptop in my Zoom class, and I showed them a text message screen, and I used my finger and just went click, and boom, they saw YouTube pop up so they could see how to do that. And now, since a lot of them are familiar with our digital literacy website and how to use it, when they get that text from me about the website, I'll actually just put the video in the website, so when they open up that website text, they'll see it on the screen. And I'll show you that next week, what it will look like on your phone, where they can just see the video, press play on your website, and that will pop up. So all the videos will be together in one place with your homework assignments, your quizzes, and your other activities. So they don't have to go back and forth between a lot of different texts. But I definitely use the Zoom classroom as a way to reinforce what I send to them as the text. And another feature that I have, we are lucky that we have a bilingual support specialist. For those that really still don't get it, she can call them on the phone. If you don't have somebody who speaks the native language of your students, I would suggest, if you are able to do it safely, maybe invite 1 or 2 students. It's typically most of them get it through just those instructions. Maybe just 1 or 2 still just don't get it, and they need that scaffolding of seeing it in person, what to do. We would invite them to our center, masks, temperature checks, make symptom checkers, making sure everybody's safe, and at a socially distant distance, so 6 feet or more. I'd stand apart from them, and I'd actually have them at the center, and I could just show them that. If they really still weren't getting that, I'd invite them to come in person. But first, I would try all those things first to see. Normally you can get most of the students on board that way, and if somebody's really still struggling, then I would schedule that in-person one-on-one meeting where I could show them, because it's just that one click they've got to do, and once they learn how to do that, they're up and rolling.
Well, that's great. And that brings me to another question, and I don't think you touched on it. Mm-hmm. Do you ever include students in the videos?
That is something I'm moving towards. I really want to start having students in the videos. I did create one actually with our bilingual support specialist, where she did the audio recording with me. We had a lot of fun. And I did the video with Karen and Burmese interpretation as well for students. We got a mixed reaction. A lot of students loved it, and it's become very popular on YouTube, so I think they're watching it a lot. And then I've got some students that are like, don't give me interpretation, I only want the English. And which I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, okay, I get that.
Yeah, I think it could be engaging to include students in the videos, because everybody wants to see themselves at least the first time on video. And that might be another answer to that previous question of engaging students.
Yeah.
Great. Well, again, thank you ever so much. This has been just fascinating. And I want to remind everybody who's still on with us, you'll be getting an evaluation about today's session. It'll also give you a chance to tell us if there's something else that you would like us to focus on. Don't forget to sign up for the next 2 sessions with Caitlin, next Thursday and the following. Lots more good information. And then you'll be getting a follow-up email with everything that we talked about today. So again, thank you ever so much, and we will talk to you all next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Wisconsin Literacy.
Oh, thank you, Caitlin. Bye now.
Bye.